Hi there and welcome to another mindful episode of Bipolar Talks, a space where we explore emotions not with fear or shame, but with curiosity, kindness, and connection. This is your invitation to pause, breathe, and give yourself permission to feel. If you find value in these conversations, please take a second to like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode. You never know who might need this kind of message today. Now let's begin today's journey with something that sounds small, but might just change how you experience life. Name it to tame it. Yep, something as simple as naming what you feel can start to calm the chaos inside. So today we ask, what if naming your emotion is the first step toward healing it? Lunch with a friend. A real-life moment of clarity. I want to tell you a story. One afternoon I sat across from a friend over lunch. We're both therapists, so when we talk we tend to cut straight to the real stuff. That day, though, it wasn't me who was doing the listening professionally, it was personal. She told me she was tired. Not just the kind of tired that sleep fixes, but soul-deep exhaustion. She was working with a client who had been through a lot layers of trauma, and the weight of it was creeping into her own body, her mind, her heart. She said she felt heavy, anxious, stuck. And in that moment I gently offered, "It sounds like secondary trauma." Her eyes paused. You could almost see the shift happen. The pieces clicked. That one word, secondary trauma, wasn't just a term. It was a mirror showing her the truth she hadn't quite faced. The next day she texted me something like, "That was such a helpful conversation. I finally understand why I've been feeling like this. Now I know what steps I need to take to move forward." All I did was name it. Have you ever had a word help you see yourself more clearly? Why we need to name what we feel. Most of us live with emotions swirling around like weather. Storms of sadness, heat waves of anger, foggy patches of confusion. But if we don't pause to name what we're feeling, those emotional weather patterns can start running our lives. We might lash out, shut down, eat our emotions, overwork, escape. We do whatever we can to cope when we don't know what we're feeling. And here's the scary part. We often don't even realize we're doing it. We're reacting, but we're not aware. That's why naming our emotions is so powerful. It gives the invisible a shape. It makes it manageable. And it invites us back into the driver's seat of our own lives. What emotion has been shaping your decisions lately without you even knowing it? The science behind it. Brain bridges. Let's talk brain science, but in a simple, down-to-earth way. Your brain has two major zones when it comes to emotions. First, there's the downstairs brain, the emotional, reactive part. This is your survival brain, your fight or flight center. When you're overwhelmed, this part takes over. Then there's the upstairs brain, your thinking, reasoning, and planning center. This part of your brain helps you make wise choices, solve problems, and reflect. When you name an emotion, something amazing happens. The upstairs and downstairs parts start to connect. It's like building a bridge. You bring logic into emotion and emotion into logic. You literally tame the chaos by naming the feeling. That's not just poetic, it's neurologically true. Can you feel the difference in your body when you say, "I'm angry" versus just feeling tight and explosive? The power of saying, "I feel." Let's try something together. Say this out loud or in your head. I feel understand. Now fill in the blank with a real emotion. Not a thought. Not a story. An emotion. I feel overwhelmed. I feel nervous and a little ashamed. I feel hopeful and scared at the same time. These are real feelings. But here's where we trip up. Many of us say, "I feel like nobody cares. I feel like I'm a failure. I feel like I'm broken." But those aren't feelings. They're thoughts, judgments, or beliefs. And while they're valid to have, they don't help us process emotion. They keep us stuck in the story. What would happen if you replaced "I feel like" with a clear emotion word? Journaling as emotional first aid. If talking about your feelings out loud feels too much, journaling might be your best friend. It's private. It's honest. And research shows it can literally rewire your brain. Journaling helps process grief. It calms anxiety. It clears emotional fog. Why? Because it forces your mind to slow down and reflect. Here's a gentle exercise. Each night, Write down the answer to this question. What did I feel today? Don't judge your answers. Don't censor yourself. Just write. Over time, you'll see patterns emerge. Maybe you feel anxious every Sunday night. Maybe sadness visits you after you scroll social media. Maybe joy surprises you after a morning walk. Could you give yourself 5 minutes a day to write down your truth? Identity versus experience. Watch your language. One of the most compassionate things we can do for ourselves is change how we talk about emotions. There's a huge difference between saying, I am depressed and I feel depressed. When we say, I am, we fuse the feeling with our identity. It becomes who we are. And that can feel hopeless, like it's never going to change. But saying I feel opens up space. It tells your brain, this is temporary. This is an experience, not my whole identity. You are not your sadness. You are not your rage. You are not your trauma. You are the person experiencing it. And you have power. What would it feel like to be the observer of your emotions, not the prisoner of them? Building an emotional vocabulary. You know how artists have hundreds of words for colors? We need the same richness with emotion. Don't settle for just happy, sad, or angry. Are you irritated, disappointed, conflicted, grateful but afraid, excited yet uncertain? The more precisely you can name your feelings, the more effectively you can respond to them. You can even use a thesaurus, an emotion wheel, or a mood chart. Expanding your emotional vocabulary is like giving your soul more colors to paint with. Which emotions do you use all the time? Which ones are missing from your vocabulary? Let's practice together. Mindful homework. Here's your simple yet powerful task. 1. Download the free emotion tracker link in the description. 2. Track your emotions daily for a month. You can use a notebook app or even the notes on your phone. 3. Set a daily reminder. When it rings, take 1 minute and write down what you feel. Not what you think, what you feel. 4. Name at least 2 emotions each time, even the subtle ones. 5. Set 3 emotional goals for this month. Maybe it's to pause before reacting, to name your feelings at work, or to be kinder to yourself. This small act of noticing and naming can change your emotional life in profound ways. Are you ready to see what happens when you finally put words to what your heart's been holding? You've just completed your first emotional resilience skill in this mindful series. Name it to tame it. This one practice, this one moment of pause and naming, can create ripple effects that change your relationships, your habits, and even your self-talk. Thank you for spending this time with us at Bipolar Talks. If you found something helpful in this episode, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with someone who might need a little emotional clarity today. And always remember, this podcast is for informational purposes only. Please continue your healing journey by consulting a licensed therapist or mental health expert who can guide you personally. We're proud of you. Keep showing up. Keep naming what you feel. And above all, stay kind to yourself. See you in the next episode.